Hi, today we're with this great, wonderful family. They've come up from California, and now they live in our community, and I'd like to get their opinions on some different things. Let me start by finding out who these wonderful people are.
Hi, I'm Brian, this is Brendan, and this is Carol.
Hi.
Hi, guys. Oh, I'm so proud to have you guys up here. I know you went through a lot to get up here, and it's so good to see that you finally made it. One of the things that a lot of Californians wonder about, especially if they have children, is what are the schools like up here? I know if you go on the internet, sometimes you get some readings that say, oh, they're not that great, and California schools just rock. And so can I get some firsthand experiences that you guys have had? Yeah.
My school is amazing.
Really?
And I have an amazing teacher, and he makes stuff a lot more funner, easier, and
More engaging?
more engaging.
Yeah.
I made lots of new friends.
Well, now, did it take you forever to make friends?
No, actually,
Quite a few in 2
three of my friends told me if they wanted to be their friends, so
Okay.
two best friends that,
So that week you made about 7 or 8, right?
yeah, like 7 or 8, maybe 10.
And that was just the first week of school.
Yeah.
Wow.
People are a lot more friendlier.
Yeah, so I really like my school, and
One thing I noticed driving around is most of the schools are fairly new, like built this century, which is a stark contrast to down in California where there was a lot of aging infrastructure.
yep.
So having
I also are actually, because I used to volunteer in California, the structure here in Idaho with their parking lot is way better than what I experienced in California.
Yeah, and also
They have cross guards out there.
My school was very big. I like it, and I like the playground, and I really like my friends.
cool.
Give a thumbs up to my school.
Well, so let me ask you, did anybody give you a hard time because you came from California?
At my other school, California, I didn't really like my school because everybody was loud, and I didn't really like my teacher because she didn't have time for me.
Oh.
But now here at the school I'm going to right now, it's much more easier, engaging, fun.
They have time for you?
Yep.
And the teacher actually, he probably knows your name, talks with you?
Yep.
Oh, he's had a couple of lunches with him just to get to know him.
The teacher?
Yeah.
Actually, he said,
Yeah.
he called you up and said, can we have a
No,
lunch?
he says, hey, Brendan, want to have lunch together on Monday and bring a friend?
Oh, I
and
see.
yeah, right. So they'll just get to know each other, and he's
And,
just learning about
so-
what he liked to play and stuff.
Oh, that is
Like
so
FNAF.
cool.
So you were mentioning about the crossing guard. What about that?
So the way they have it structured, so they have like that horseshoe shaped thing, but they have 2 lanes, and they have the waiting cars come up all the way up to the top, and they have the crosswalks out there all the time. There's, without fail, always out there. And they're always making sure that the cars are moving up, and that the cars that do get their students move to the lane to the left and then go out. So it's kind of like seamless.
Yeah.
So drop off is easier.
Drop off is very easy. Pickup is extremely easy. In California, it was not like that. They didn't really have cross guards out there to make sure kids were safe. I had to complain to the principal about the structure of their parking lot and how many times a kid was by the front of my car because there's nobody out there to direct the kids where to go.
Yeah, and also at my other school, actually some of my friends said, do you want to work with me? And Yeah, because I need help, and I really like my friends telling me that, would you like to work with me? So.
That is great.
So the opportunity that I got to volunteer at this school here in Idaho, what I've noticed is there is a lot more friendlier people, and they're excited to be at work. They're excited, and the kids see it, and the kids feel it, and you can see the change in children and just how they behave at school when they have caring adults that love their jobs and pay attention to them and give them, you know, the attention that they need. And the teacher that he has is, and I've told him he is amazing, that he will take the time to get to know his new students. He will learn new methods on how to deal with kids that have ADHD or other learning abilities. And he just takes that time. He knows how to make things fun so that he engages that child and what they're doing. And my son has never learned more in the past 5 years than he has in this past month at this new school.
Wow. So this has got to be some private, expensive school that you're sending your son to?
Oh no, it's public.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I even love it too, but
He's so excited. He begs me to take him to school like in the morning after he's 8. Let's go.
He wants to go to school early.
Yeah.
He wants to go to school early.
yeah, because I really love my school.
In California, it was never like that. And I worked with every single teacher every year. And my son had so many issues and so many problems with getting his work done and stuff like that. But at this school, he gets his work done every single day. And he's telling me so much that he has learned. And I am just so proud of him. And I am so happy that this move was beneficial for my son, because he really needed it.
Yeah. Oh,
And that's a wrap up for school.
nice. Well, I think you're right. But so what about some other life things have you found up here? I mean, I always hear people say that, you know, traffic's getting bad, that there's no jobs. What have you guys found?
I would say the worst traffic jam I've seen in southwest Idaho was probably the lightest traffic jam in California. So, I mean, it hasn't been that bad. And so one thing I've noticed in that the infrastructure of roads and such is that they seem to be building ahead of the curve, whereas California seemed to be 20 years behind. I've been in driving to work. Monday, where there was just a patch of dirt, by Friday afternoon there's a sidewalk with freshly paved asphalt. So the infrastructure is pretty, they're really ahead of it. Overall, the infrastructure is fairly new. There's not a lot of dated, other than some country roads, there's not a lot of potholes to talk about. So that's been a delight. Just came from the DMV the other day. So to register my car, I had to turn in the pink slip from California to get Idaho plates, and it took me less than 10 minutes to get plates in hand. And
You went to DMV, less than 10 minutes, you got your business taken care of.
yes, for the car plates themselves, and it cost less than half to register my car for 2 years in Idaho than it did for 1 year in California.
And so then actually, when I was in California, I was like, meh. And so then when I moved to Idaho, it changed my life.
Wow.
Like, what was the biggest change?
Well, I mean, I never noticed that now my school's better, and I was like,
I like that they have his grade book online every single day, everything he's done. He's getting an A in PE, he's doing great in science, he's done great on his tests.
100%.
This is how I know he's working hard in school, and this is why I allow him to have his playtime when he gets home, because he deserves it.
and also why Idaho changed my life. I have more bugs and animals to see.
True.
I even saw my first wild snake.
Wow. So things that you wouldn't see in California up here, you get more nature?
Yep.
The parks are all fairly new, and because so much of the community of of Canyon County and Ada County is fairly new. Certainly built this century. So a lot of the parks, not only are they newer, but you can tell that people respect them. Not too much graffiti, not too much trash laying around, between people caring about things and public services really being ahead of the curve on taking care of problems. If there's a broken sprinkler, within 48 hours, there's some government service person out there fixing that.
Oh, our AC broke down that one weekend. We got that person out that night. That doesn't happen in California.
We've had two dealings with Idaho Power, which is the equivalent of PG&E, due to some branches that fell and took out some power lines. Within 1 hour or less, they were out with their cherry picker, pruning trees and restoring service. It was just excellent service levels so far in all our public utilities and whatnot. And in addition to a higher level of service, just the price point has been much. As an example, our utility bill has been less than half of our PG&E bill in California, even though we have a bigger house than our California house.
Speaking of that, you mentioned once before that your garage in this house is bigger than the entire house that you had in California.
Mm-hmm. So your money will go much farther in Idaho, certainly southwest Idaho, but even farther if you go to the eastern edge of Idaho or even the northern panhandle of Idaho. But just for dollar, if you can monetize your house in California, take that bag of money and see what you can get up here in southwest Idaho, you'll be very pleasantly sticker shocked at what you can get. Also, I would say that from a weather standpoint, there was somewhat of a perception that Idaho was going to be very cold and snowy, but certainly southwest Idaho has been comparable to Solano County or even northern California in general.
There's not much wind.
Yeah, I mean,
and it gets colder at night, but during the day it's pretty pleasant.
Yep. So the weather has not been an issue for us thus far. I mean, they have all four seasons up here. They have a couple 100-degree days, but they have high 80s a lot too. So nothing about the weather has been shocking or disquieting.
Very nice. Before we let you go, and certainly appreciate your time and helping not only me but helping people in California get a better idea of what it's like up here. Did you have any closing thoughts you'd like to share?
I'm glad we made the move in general. I feel just on a personal, emotional level like I've left a 300-pound backpack back in California, and knowing that our efforts, our money, our time will get a much better return up here in Idaho and a much better, satisfying standard of living.
Not just for you, but for your son,
the humans, even the cats seem to be more relaxed than they were down in California.
I'm extremely less stressed.
Yeah. So just overall, I mean, looking back, maybe we should have done it sooner, but everyone has their own timeline to follow, and after making friends and developing connections up here in southwest Idaho, and partnering with great people like Dave, we were able to get the information we needed that made us comfortable and confident in the decision we made.
And I feel like the next thing we're going to talk about is our emotions.
Well, maybe. We might take that offline. And Carol, did you have any closing thoughts?
I just can't stress enough how much I really do love the schools here. I mean, it was great working with the teachers in California, but I mean, it was so stressful there. And here in Idaho, it's just so less stress, and people are so happy. The cross guards are dancing every morning to music. It's just less stress and more fun to them. And I just love that school, and I love what they're doing for my son.
Yeah, I mean, in both California and Idaho, I think the people themselves that we dealt with were good people. They were just, it was which system they were working under.
That's another big thing. It's all the politics behind the scenes and how it's being ran by the principals or the people above them.
So I think the system and the machine behind the scenes in California was much more negative than what I've seen so far up here in Idaho.
Yep.
And when you have a better system and a better machine that supports both parents, children, and educators, you see a much more a positive outcome from all the people involved. And
Absolutely.
when you're surrounded with positivity, it only grows more positivity, and the end result is happier people and more satisfied and more educated kids.
And I absolutely, indeed like that. Absolutely fabulous idea.
Okay.
Can you tell us how you really feel?
So, Brendan, if you had your choice, if we could go back in time, would you have liked to move up here sooner?
Sooner.
He's told me many times that he's just really enjoyed his school.
And even this cat enjoys it, so.
This is our cat. This cuddles.
So. All right. Any other thoughts?
Well, thank you guys so much. You've been such great sports, and I appreciate your willingness to help others. It's kind of the Idaho way. Excellent. We'll see you guys again.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.